To many, Officer John Bohach was a hero who dedicated his life to helping others. A life that was cut short last Wednesday after he was fatally shot.
In School Watch tonight, construction is underway on John C. Bohach Elementary School. The Reno police officer was killed in the line of duty 18 years ago today.
John had many aspects to him. He had wonderful personality in many ways. One of the many attributes that he had was his ability to speak fluent Spanish. Back in the late 80s, there was no representation from the police department to the Hispanic community, and that also included City Hall. And John was that liaison from the Spanish media, the Spanish community, and the police department. And to this day, the forms that the police department uses for Spanish speaking have been refined. But back then, he was the person that put together a lot of the Spanish forms that were translated from English on one side to Spanish on the other. And he was the one who put all those together. And that was a great asset to the department. It was a great asset for people in patrol who used those forms for Spanish-speaking victims.
An important skill that we all have to learn at some point, John had in spades. What I mean by that is when someone committed a crime and John could prove they had committed the crime, he had to help prove it in court beyond a reasonable doubt. In order to prove it, he had to be able to organize all the pieces, all the facts of the crime. Who did what when? Where was each person when the crime happened? What did they say before, during, or after the crime? And organizing that story, if you will, or the tale of what happened is an important skill. It was an important skill for him, and it's an important skill for all of us.
John Bohach was one of the best officers that we had at RPD. When in court, he was prepared. His police reports were on point, concise, well-written, and he was prepared to testify and was very helpful in obtaining positive results in our criminal cases.
We take the time to help people develop their own skills. If you had a shortcoming or you weren't secure with doing something, comfortable doing something, he would help you get along to where you could get that mission accomplished. He'd push you, poke you, prod you, ask you questions to get you going in the right direction. Conversely, if you told him to leave you alone and you didn't want his help, he'd walk away. But he was always willing to help develop people to the point where they could accomplish their job and their goals. Looking back over John's career and who John was as a man and a family man, he was devoted to his family and putting people first. He was devoted to helping people and getting people to the best place they could be in life.
Just be yourself, do what makes you happy, and that's what my dad did. He was very determined and was passionate about helping people and saving people's lives and just being true to himself. And I think that's the best advice I could give anyone.
John was a detective with the Reno PD for almost 13 years, and his job was to protect children from abuse and neglect, and he did a very good job doing that. He was an amazing interviewer who was gentle with children but very tough on the perpetrators. We like to go boating, we like to hang out with our dogs and take them for walks. We had a new baby, he was a great dad. We had Lindsay and Jillian to take care of.
So I think it's so amazing that my dad is remembered in this school. His legacy will forever be here at Bohach Elementary. The mascot for the school, the Nighthawk, is such an awesome mascot because they are fierce and tough, just like police officers and all first responders.
He would not only be proud of the structure itself, but where it's located. He lived right down the street off the Pyramid Highway for several years, and just walking around today, this place is completely impressive. He was disciplined to the sense, and I'm sure his military background added to that, but he can go out, be working all night, and he'd be there first thing in the morning for briefing. It started at 7 o'clock.
You know, think back when this came out and they named the school, it made me think back in a lot of the memories I had with John, both working and off duty. It kind of opens up a lot of wounds, but you think about some of the great things you did with John and that you witnessed him do in detectives.
John as a person was a wonderful person. He was always willing to go that extra mile to help people. He seemed to know almost ahead of time that people needed help, and he was there for them, no matter what.
It stood out in my mind was whatever John was doing, he was doing it at 100% of his ability. Whether it was having a good time or at work, he was trying his best to do his best at that time.
Tenacity to his courage to protect the victim, to stand with the victim and to tell the victim that I am with you in this and I will protect you, was second to none.
John understood that he had the resources to make positive impacts on children's lives across his community, and he was 100% committed to utilizing every resource he had to make sure that he could do the right thing and become a positive mentor and a positive influence in children's lives in our community.
When he was off duty, he liked to have fun. He loved being on the water. He loved his boat. He loved my boat. He liked doing all the water sports, including houseboating, and that's when I think he was at his happiest.
You may have hundreds of friends in a lifetime. You'll be lucky to find one or two to be as loyal as a good a person that John was.